Everybody, new school comic book reviews. Okay, before I get into the comics, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody that watched my last video. I got a tremendous response. A lot of people watched it. A lot of people commented, said really interesting things and really helpful and insightful things, and really encouraging things as well. I was a little bit nervous before putting it up because I normally don't do videos that long. This is the diversity in comics video I did over the weekend. And like I said, I normally don't do videos that long, and I used to, and some of those videos really weren't that great, so I kind of decided to cut down on the time limit. But like I said, this particular one, I thought there was a lot of different issues that kind of connected and overlapped and were sort of related to each other, beyond the sort of Captain America's black and that's great, Captain America's black and that sucks type of thing. So like I said, thanks to everybody who watched that video, and everybody who commented, everybody from Captain Strange Life, Damien's Sleepy Reader 666, Mercy from Mercy's Little Show, Matt from Wednesday's Serial, Tony Why Not Art, that one draftsman, Howler Mouse, Reader 1717. Did I say Captain Strange Life? ETA Nick. Also, I want to thank Captain Cummings. He didn't comment on this video, but he always comments on my other videos, and he's always been really cool. And like I said, I just wanted to say thanks to everybody. Okay, so jumping back into this week's comics that I picked up. I didn't get a whole bunch. First thing I've got here is Supreme Blue Rose number 7. Written by Warren Ellis and artist by Tula Lotay. This is the conclusion to the story, and basically we find out exactly what's going on with the whole thing of the universe reinventing itself over and over again. And finally, finally, our heroine finally does catch up with Ethan Crane, who is basically supreme. And we do kind of, like I said, find out the story about the universe reinventing itself and what's going on and whatnot. And I gotta say, the story was kind of a letdown. I mean, we do get a definitive answer, and we find out what's going on and with Darius Dax and everything. But I don't know. I think after all this time, I was expecting something a little bit more, more of a climax. That's it. It was anticlimactic. It was like we got to the story, we got an explanation, and then it just sort of ended. You know what I mean? It really wasn't a big satisfying conclusion. I was with this series up until this issue. This issue in itself was kind of a letdown. I would still recommend the whole thing, but just with that caveat, be prepared that the last issue not as great as it could have been. Next thing I got is Princess Leia number 1 by Mark Waid, Terry Dotson, and Rachel Dotson. Okay, I guess this comic takes place right after the end of the first Star Wars movie, or Star Wars A New Hope. And basically what happens is Princess Leia finds out that there are still survivors from Alderaan, and there's also a bounty on her head as well, of course. But she decides that she's going to go out and see what she can do to find and help any survivors of the planet. And she hooks up with this one pilot, this female pilot, who, kind of doesn't think the world of the princess, but goes along just because she thinks it's her duty. It was an okay comic. It was all right. I haven't read too much of the quote-unquote expanded universe. Outside of the movies, the only Star Wars stuff that I've read was back in the late 70s, some of those early Marvel issues. And I remember there used to be a novel called Splinter the Mind's Eye that came out like right around the time of the first and second movies. And those are like the only thing I've read. I've never read any of the other novels that have come out over the last, several years. Never read any of the Dark Horse comics or whatever. So I guess I'm not too sure that the new Marvel series fits into that sort of stuff or negates that stuff or anything. I'm not too sure. But yeah, for this issue, it was an okay opening. It works as a kind of a one and done. You do kind of get to see what Princess Leia's motivation and what her mission is, and it's a nice setup to whatever type of adventure she's gonna have. So I thought it was okay. Nameless #2 by Grant Morrison and Chris Burnham. Okay, so basically, the hero Nameless goes to the moon where he finds out that there's a colony of scientists living there. And I guess their whole purpose is to kind of solve the world's problems or save the world or something like that. And they're having a little crisis on their own that they need his help with. And basically, one of their scientists has gone crazy and she's writing all these cryptic messages. And here you see her writing on the walls and stuff. And I'm pretty sure that she's supposed to be writing on the walls. That's a mixture of food and blood and poo. Okay, but basically he kind of figures out what language she's writing in, and it's the language of angels. And there's supposed to be some sort of curse or something coming up, and Nameless basically convinces the other scientists to, kind of suit up and go into space to stop this big war that's coming up. And a couple of scientists are skeptical, but they kind of go along with his plan. And he's got them writing cryptic symbols and things like that on their spacesuits because he figures only magic will be able to save them. And there's lots of hints of other kinds of weird things and whatnot are going on. It's pretty intriguing. It's kind of a hard comic book for me to kind of figure out. This is another one of those comics that I'll have to read twice. But like I said, it's intriguing for me to continue to read it so far. So that was all right. Spider-Woman #5. This is new direction, new costume. Writer is Dennis Hopeless. The art and colors is Javier Rodriguez, and the inker is Alvarado Lopez. And basically this starts like I said, new status quo for Spider-Woman. She has taken a leave of absence from the Avengers. She's moved out of the Avengers headquarters. She's not doing any work for Nick Fury or S.H.I.E.L.D. right now. She's trying to get back to being a street level hero and just kind of help out normal people. And what happens is she runs into reporter Ben Urich. Ben Urich used to work for the Daily Planet, or not the Daily Planet, I'm sorry, the Daily Bugle. And he wants her to help him with these missing person cases that the police seems to be ignoring so far. And I guess that's all I say for it right now, because I don't want to give too much away. But yeah, I actually thought it was very fun. I thought it was fun, lighthearted, really liked the art, really solid storytelling. And really, this comic book should have been Spider-Woman #1. I think it was a disservice. I think it was a mistake to do the Spider-Verse tie-in as the first issue. This is something you can really I mean, it sets up a new direction, sets up a new story, sets up everything, and this is really where they should have started. Oh, this is pretty funny here. Here's a pretty funny thing here, where basically Spider Woman's explaining, what she's doing and what her whole new purpose is. She goes, "If you spend too much time on the internet, you'll probably recognize me in my old costume. I once lost a week of my life shame googling Spider Woman butt." And if you remember the controversy some months back about the Milo Manera variant cover, you'll get that joke. Okay, and that's pretty much it. The other thing I bought was Daredevil 13, Mark Waid and Chris Sammy. It was pretty funny, pretty good. Just more solid work from the Daredevil team. Okay, and that's it. I got to thank you very much for listening, and everybody have a great day.